What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dice House and the DCUO commentary. I'm bringing you an extra long video here today to show you guys a few things, talk about a few things. First up, I want to talk about what the video is going to be about here. I want to talk about my fire tanking loadout. A lot of people have been asking me what I do now as far as fire tanking for PvE is concerned. Also, we've gotten news of update 13 coming today, as you may know. But because the servers are down, servers went down at 11 o'clock and are coming back up here in a few hours. Probably be up by the time this video loads up here. Also, I want to talk about the DLC4 announcement, the Joker's Last Laugh DLC coming to us for PvP. First PvP oriented, concentrated content we've gotten in this game since launch. First up, talking about my tank loadout here, though. You see right here, looking at my loadout here, I've got Backdraft, Inflame, Flashpoint, Burning Determination, Stoke Flames, and Reignition for my PvP loadout. How I spec my skill points is I put all of my skill points into Dominance because I get an extra health buff with the higher dominance I have. Then put those skill points into defense and health, and I've got enough skill points now that I can I've been able to start putting them into the crit heal innates, the crit heal chance and magnitude innates. For guys, you guys out there with lower skill points, I'd suggest going with dominance first. It helps. One, the dominance, extra dominance you have, it helps with your buffs, for one. Two, it helps with any CC effects. You have, as you can see here, I can juggle these huge reavers around pretty easily. At first, when I start, going at one of them here. Also, you want to make sure that you've got tank gear. You've got all tank gear on. Any mods that you go to put on your gear, I'd highly suggest going for any dominance and power mods. The dominance and power mods are probably the best mods you can use as a tank on your gear, simply because you get the extra dominance plus tank gear. Tank PvE gear doesn't come with any power stats at all on it. I have yet to see, at least. So the extra power you have is going to be beneficial for you and for the rest of your team, because then you don't have to worry about, controllers. You've got a bit larger power pool to go from to help with your using your powers to hold aggro, help with crowd control and everything. Help them bounce the ads around and stuff, so they're not attacking everybody. That's part of your job as a tank, to do crowd control. I know a lot of people think that that's all the controller's job, but the more you help with that, the better it is for everybody in the group. In regards to like other powers like Wildfire, I've tested Wildfire out. I've tested out on this raid. As a ranged aggro power, I find it lacking. I've yet to be able to, even with all the skill points I've got and everything, I have yet to see it work as a ranged aggro. Now, I can use it to pop up ads, from a distance. And, if they're outside of my backdraft, I can use it to pop them up and do some crowd control on them. So it works great in that aspect. But as far as working as a ranged aggro power, I have yet to see it work for me. That's not saying it doesn't work that way for others. Others haven't been able to figure it out. I'm still testing it, every once in a while. I'll try and work out. For pulls, fire, I know it's limited with the backdraft is the best pull we've got. But if your flight, low pressure does work. It can be hit or miss sometimes, but low pressure does work well as a group pull, similar to the way Inescapable Storm works for ice. So let's go ahead and talk about that here. I'll add in little comments here and there during this video about what I'm doing here. As you can see, I'm just going around smashing everything I can get my hands onto and trying to keep everybody, keep as much aggro myself as I can. As huge as the area this is, group tends to get spread out a little bit. I've been able to go off and solo one of the Reavers by myself in tank stance, while everybody else was going off helping the other Cyclops somewhere. But I don't, that's not what I'm just saying. I don't recommend that if you don't have a lot of gear or skill points to back up, give yourself the extra innates that you need to do something like that. But let's go ahead and let's start talking about update 13 coming today. By the time this video comes out, it's probably going to be live, and you'll be able to see what changes they've done. But we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the changes here, and excuse me, and yeah, I'll give you my opinions about a few of them. The spring event is coming back tomorrow. It looks like, judging from the way they worded, spring event's going to be the same as it was last year. We're going to be helping out Swamp Thing, and villains are going to be helping out Poison Ivy to go around and collect these pods and everything. It's somewhat similar to the St. Patrick's Day event, with going around collecting the pots of gold. It's similar to that in some aspects. There is a collection with it, and of course there's going to be specific style, that you can purchase with the marks there and everything. Speaking of marks, though, they're introducing these tokens of merit vendors. You're going to be able to take any excess marks that you have from either PvE, PvP, or seasonal events. You're going to be able to take these tokens and trade them in for these tokens of merits. And what these tokens of merits do, they will apply towards merits feats. So basically, like I say, I have like 333, and I know there's people who got a lot more, but I've got like 333 marks of distinction that I cannot use anymore. I've got nothing that I need to purchase with those marks anymore. This is basically giving us something to do with those marks. Everybody's been complaining, saying, "Oh man, I ain't got no marks. I've got all these marks and nothing to do with it." Now you got something to do with it. You can take these marks, cash them into this vendor, and apply them towards feats, which will get you more skill points. So this is actually making all the tier 1, tier 2 content that people are probably completely done with. Kind of like myself. I'm like, I have no need to be doing any more tier 1 content, except for like completion feats for like duos and alerts. This is giving us, this will give everybody kind of a reason to go back and do that content. Whether or not I'm going to do it, I don't really know yet. I'll get back to you. It depends on what kind of, how the feats work out. If you're curious about how all of this looks in the game, tonight, me and Trexlight from DCUO Source Cast, we're going to be doing our show early. I talked him into it. We're doing our show early this week. We're going to be getting together this evening to record a Sourcecast podcast and talk about this update, our thoughts about DLC4, and also talk about the Avengers movie and why DC can't do a JLA movie. But all right, back on track here. Update 13. They're doing a see here. You're gonna be able. Okay, yeah, the tokens of merit. Then you've got the DCUO, the raid teleporters. They've added teleporters outside the boss fights and the raids where applicable to allow players an extra 15 seconds to enter the boss fights. This is kind of a good thing because some of the doors can be tricky. Let's see here, collections update. They've updated audio and stuff with involved with the collections. We'll have to see what that's all about. Let's see here, some changes to a couple of alerts. Currency marks. All marks earned through PvE, PvP. This is an odd one here. All marks earned through PvE, PvP, and seasonal content are now capped at 250. If you have 250 or more marks stored on your character, the number in the currency tab will appear in red. You will be unable to earn more marks of that type until you reduce the number to below the cap. Now, how this is going to work, I know a lot of people are upset about this. I'm a little irritated by it too, because it means I can't earn any more marks of conquest in PvP to apply towards the new gear coming out in update 14. But I've got like 790 some marks of legend and conquest that I've been hoarding and holding on to until the new armor comes out. Now with this here thrown in here, I can't earn any more marks of conquest or anything. But when I bring that, if I go out and I start spending those marks on like Legends characters, PvP gear and stuff like that, it's going to bring that number down to around 250. Once it's below 250, like it hits 249, I can go into an arena and earn 1 mark, and then that's it. I have to go and spend those marks again. So why exactly? I think this was mostly implemented because of the tokens of merit, because people go out and start hoarding all these marks and like buying skill points and everything. I can kind of see that as being the reason why they implemented it. Not really sure. This is something that some people are going to be really upset with, but it's not like you lose those marks. I mean the cap's 250. You can't earn any more marks, but I still have like my 790 marks of legend. They're still there. I just can't earn any more. Same thing with PvE marks. So not that big of a thing. It's just the whole cap on earning more that I think has a lot of people a little upset with this. See here, they fixed some stuff with the duos, single mission stuff here. Of course, I'll have a link to these patch notes in the description below for everybody. Changes the powers. See, starting off with Earth, Debris Field, Shards, Striking Stones, Pebble Blast, Localized Tremor, and Jackhammer will no longer remove the dazed and or crushed power interactions when used. Upheaval and Jackhammer will now give you 50% damage absorption for 12 seconds from aftershocks unless damage shift is active. This is a nice little buff here for Earth right here. I'm still working on my Earth tanking loadout guide for you guys. I think I've got it narrowed down to which powers are very beneficial in certain situations. I was actually able to get my slightly undergeared Earth tune through FOS2. And I was able to, with the way I've got her spec'd right now for PvE, I was able to switch out a couple powers that really helped out a lot with pulling the ads off that bridge, which that seems to be the killer for a lot of pug groups out there, is that bridge on FOS2. Let's see here. Continuing on. Fire, Flame Cascade, and Fire Burst should now perform their power interactions correctly, dealing additional damage to burning, electrified, or frostbitten targets. Alright, some of you may have noticed on the official forums, I've started a post talking about like Snuff Out, and a lot of people have been chiming in, talking about the power interactions of Inferno, and other person's Inferno, or any kind of, burning power will take away our power interactions. This is a nice start, but it's not what's needed still. Flame Cascade, I don't know who uses Flame Cascade, to be honest with you. Obviously, it wasn't that great because the power interactions weren't working. I don't really have a desire to test it out because Fire Burst is such a better power especially in regards for DPSing in PvE. So I don't know exactly where the whole thing with Flame Cascade came from. Hopefully they do something to fix the power interactions with Mass Detonation. That's by far the best power Fire has. Crossing Fingers, they make Snuff Out a instant cast ability similar to Final Ruin and Impaling Thorns actually, and honestly I hope they do the same thing with Ice too. For Impaling Ice, they make that an instant cast too. We need to have that extra oomph for single target. And Flame Cascade is another long cast time power. So this is a nice fix for power interactions. In regards to power interactions, but it's not the fix that's needed for fire. It's a start though. So gadgets got another buff here. Granted, now these are all fixes and everything, but I don't know why they are concentrating so much on gadgets. Cryofoam will now continue its damage after the route ends. The burning interaction to electrified targets will now be applied even if the target is immune to knockdown. Let's see here. Hide is now usable while controlled. Cryofoam should now perform its power interaction correctly, inflicting burning on electrified targets. Fear Gas should now perform its power interaction correctly, inflicting burning on electrified targets, causing burning or electrified targets to explode, and occasionally encase frostbitten targets. Alright, everything in there, honestly, it needed to be fixed. Hide being usable while controlled, honestly, I don't see what the purpose was in fixing that. Why that had to be done. Simply because everything else that Gadgets has in regards to its other powers and interactions and everything, I mean, it works fine. You know, Gauze Grenade and Sticky Bomb are still going to be the most used powers that Gadgets has. Cryofoam's a nice one for rooting super speedsters like in PvP. But as far as hide, I mean, especially if you have super speed Gadget Tune, I mean, man, Gadget's getting so much love right now, and I'm feeling left behind. Let's see here. Let's move on, though. Nature, we got the Primal Wolf form, melee hold, attack, slam, now interrupts as intended, rather than being a block breaker. I really hope this fixes the issues with Wolf, because it's annoying. This hallway right here, real quick, you guys want to be careful. This is normally where people freeze at. I know this is where me and my league mostly freeze at. Got lucky with this video here, obviously, because I wouldn't be posting this video if we froze on here. But you want to move slow going into this hallway because ads pop up everywhere all of a sudden on you. Let's see, moving on. Sorcery. Transmutation should now deal additional damage to encased and polymorphed enemies. This is a nice little buff here for sorcery. The description for Sacrificial Offering has been updated to make it clear that your Red Soul aura is consumed when using this ability. So, yeah, this should clear everything up for that. Let's see here. PvP fixes and changes they're making. Counter-attack immunity. Performing a successful block break, interrupt, or block counter will now grant you a short respite during which you cannot be damaged, controlled, or counter-attacked. Counterattack immunity will be indicated by a blue flash instead of the normal white breakout flash. All right, I think what this is basically, it's kind of like, you know, when you're doing a you're being attacked and you go to block somebody when they are hitting you with like either their third strike or with a hard hitting combo. You go and you block that person, you get that block off and they get stunned, but they're still able to get a block breaker in on you to stun you as well. I think that's fixing this issue, because yeah, granted, I mean that is clipping the combos, which isn't an intended thing to do, thing in this game, but it's still a pain, and it's still a pain in the ass, and it can get frustrating. For some PvP weapons no longer debuff an opponent's toughness. I hate to tell you this, but they weren't getting that armor penetration to begin with, so I don't know. No longer debuffs the toughness. They never did. See, blue quality level 30 PvP starter weapons now add a precision bonus when used in PvP to give them an effective DPS value of 87.5 when used against players. This is a nice little buff. This is all the buffs they were talking about doing for starter level PvP gear. So this is kind of a good thing. PvP armor no longer has the defense stat. Okay, I mean, this is going to make, doing open world ruptures a little more interesting. But other than that, I don't really see a problem. I don't really have a problem with this. PvP armor now offers less toughness and more health. Tank armor has more toughness than non-tank armor. Toughness values have been generally reduced overall, but survivability when wearing PvP armor has been increased due to the health increase. Okay, a lot of people are going back and forth about this because this was, we believe, done to get people to stop using PvE gear in arenas. But the problem isn't with how much health people have. The problem is with how much toughness that gear offers, and not only that, but also the might and precision that PvP gear offers as compared to DPS. PvE gear. Like if you take the DPS PvP gear we have and compare it to the current PvE DPS gear, the might and precision stats are going to be phenomenally different. You're going to have a lot more might and precision with PvE gear than you will with PvP gear. So a lot of DPSs, excuse me, a lot of DPSs are running in PvE gear in arenas. So, and getting that extra hit. Now, if they were to balance those stats, those two stats, might and precision, out with PvP gear, and give us more toughness on that PvP gear, we wouldn't really have that much of an issue. And if there was a go back to the original, crit chance, crit damage, thing we had before the buff, it would fix it. And, that would fix a lot of things, just increasing the stats on the PvP gear. And if you're worried about people taking, now that they removed the defense stat off of the PvP gear, we don't really have to worry that much about people trying to glass cannon PvE with their PvP gear. I don't think. Here's another thing too. This one's really got me annoyed. The tank anti-controller debuff protection and group breakout effects now last 3 seconds and may only be applied a maximum of twice every 12 seconds. This affects the following abilities: Unstoppable and Crystal's debuff for Earth. I didn't know Crystal was giving a group debuff for Earth, to be honest with you. I think they're talking about the Crystal Golem here. It provides control resistance, but as far as I know, it doesn't provide a group debuff. I'm going to have to look into that and talk to some other people that have been playing Earth. Fire's Burning Determination and Burnout, Ice's Winter Ward, and Shadow Restraints. Now, here's my issue with this. The main reason why they did this change right here for the debuff immunities was because they said people were stacking tanks in PvP. Where? When? I mean, honestly, the only time I think you would ever see more than one tank in an arena is in either the FOS or Australia maps, and that's because they're 8v8 maps. Unless the people are pugging, you're not going to see more than one tank in a 5s match or a 4s match. You're just not going to see it because nobody does it. One tank has been able to do that job just fine as far as providing the immunities out for the rest of the team. Now, they've seriously nerfed the usefulness of tanks in PvP. Earth's only having one doggone debuff as remover as it is bad enough for tank, but now they've just made it even worse. Whether or not this was done to help make it so matches don't last as long as they have been, I don't know. We'll have to see how this all works out, but only having immunity out for 6 out of 12 seconds is that's annoying. Anyways, here's an interesting change right here. Controller healing debuff powers now also strip normal power over time effects applied by controllers. This affects the following abilities: Pyrokinesis, Horrific Visage, Cryofoam, Bomb, and Snap Trap. This sounds like, the way this is worded here, controllers are now going to be able to remove the POT from healers. So controller puts out POT for the entire group. Tank can strip POT from that controller, but now controllers are going to be able to strip the POT from the healers with those abilities right there I just listed. This is interesting. I think this is another thing to make the matches a little bit more difficult for everybody, shorten the matches up. Honestly, if they want to do that, they need to do something with Speed Drain, Invigorate, and the other healing powers that provide not just health back to the team, but power back to the team as well. Honestly, I think those healing powers, the powers that Transcendence, you have to be careful with this because they, like I said, they add spawn up everywhere, and you don't even see them. But honestly, those healing powers should not be giving power back to the rest of the team. I mean, you see a lot of DPSs in PvP running with those powers like Transcendence and Rejuve and Invigorate to give power back to the rest of the team instead of what they are actually intended for, and that's to heal. All right, now if they give power back to you yourself, I have no problem with that. But you'll even have DPS run around with Speed Drain instead of for supercharge to give power back to the rest of the group. It should not work that way. I mean, a controller's job is to get power out to the group. It's not the DPS or the healer or the tanks. That's just my opinion on that. But this removing power over time, though, thing is interesting on the healers. I want to see how that works out for everybody. Let's see here. They've for Legends, they increased the damage of a minimally charged Batarang Flurry for Batman and Robin, and they reduced the damage output of Two-Face's ranged minions. As I said, they also have a few fixes to a couple of raids and some UI stuff here. Weapons, they've increased the damage of minimally charged double throw for dual wield. Jump shot is no longer interruptible, but is now vulnerable to block and causes interrupt. And loft shot attack now also interrupts. That's for dual pistols, obviously. Hand blasters, they increase the damage of a maximally charged blast. Nice to see. One-handed, increase the damage of a minimally charged focus blast. Okay. You know, there's still some other weapons out there that need to show some love at, but I'm running out of time and I can't get into it because I got to talk about the DLC4 announcement we got here. DLC4 announcement we got came to us yesterday as well. This is the general first announcement of the DLC of what we can expect. For starters, the shield weapon. Players can unleash this vicious new weapon to bash their opponents or hurl it to take them down from a distance. I'll also have a link for this in the description below for you guys to read. So this is kind of cool. Everybody's been hoping for new weapons. I know the weapons I've seen people request the most are whip and shield. So it's nice to see that we're getting this shield weapon here. If you follow me on Facebook and Twitter and all that, you'll see I already got my Captain America suit already picked out for the shield weapon here. I'm definitely going to be testing the shield out and having fun with it. Safe house battles. This is one of the new maps. Safe house battles. No one is safe now. The heroes and villains can invade each other's safe houses in these 4-on-4 battles. This sounds like a team deathmatch map that they're going to do inside either, inside the safe houses, inside the PDs and the clubs. No, this is not open world, as much fun as that would be, but definitely this is going to be a nice new map to do. Graviton technology recovery. Players will be tasked with retrieving cutting-edge technology from the hero or villain safe houses. This is a capture the flag style map, I believe. Like I said, the rescue. Heroes must rescue hostages, while villains will be freeing arrested criminals from opposing safe houses. That's another capture the flag map right there, sounds like. Bomb disposal. Stockpiles of explosives have been remotely armed by mischievous third party. Players must gain control of the bomb squad's mech and either neutralize the bombs or use them for dastardly purposes. Sounds like another capture the flag type map. Something that honestly kind of lacking in. The only capture the flag map we've had has been 5v5 Moon. So introducing 3 of them in one DLC, I don't know. We'll have to see how it works out. The next one here, though, is I believe this is going to be a team deathmatch map. This is obviously probably going to be one of the more popular ones among some of the newer players. The headquarters battles. This 2-part crusade, 16 players, 8 heroes and 8 villains will face off for the ultimate player reward. At the request of Superman, heroes must take over the Hall of Doom, while villains, egged on by the Joker, will breach the Watchtower in order to create chaos. This sounds like a lot of fun. Where exactly? Obviously, they were talking about the Hall of Doom map's going to be down in the pit, where it's going to be out in the Watchtower. Not really sure, but this should be this should be a fun map, and it sounds like it's going to be a team deathmatch map. Let's see here. And then the new Legends characters they're introducing. There's a lot of talk about this. If you want to hear like my full thoughts on this whole thing, please tune in to the Source podcast tonight, and you'll hear all of my thoughts about this new DLC and how it's working out and everything like that. But how it's going to apply. But new Legends characters are going to be Kilowog and Amon-Sur. Yes, I know they're introducing Green Lantern characters in at a point where we've finished the Brainiac series by now, and no talk yet of any meta or magic characters being added in for Legends at this time. Or even with this DLC. This has a lot of people upset and irritated. I understand that frustration completely. If you want to hear my full opinions about it, please, tune in tonight to the DCUO Source cast. Also, check out the DCUO Source website. There's a link below for it. They have a skill planner on there for every power that's currently in the game along with the weapons trees, and movement trees. So, and they also have a tab on there where you can put in the stats for your armor and for your whatever mods you have and everything, and it will help. It helps you figure out exactly what like your crit chance is and everything like that, or what it would be with a particular loadout. You can figure out your loadout without having to go in to the game and constantly respecking your tune. If you miss something or you put a point in the wrong place, everything. It's a very useful tool. I've used it on several occasions when I've been trying to figure out a Earth Tank loadout for you guys in particular. So definitely check out the site. Lots of good information on there. Helpful group of guys run it, and there's also other helpful people who are members of the DCUO Source forums there. So definitely check that out. So the skill planner alone is worth going there. I ain't gonna lie. It's also the home of the DCUO Source podcast, which, like I said, I'm going to be recording tonight with Trexlight. We'll be talking about everything that was announced yesterday. Update 13 coming out today. The DLC4 hitting here in about a month, I believe. We're going to see Update 14 is down the road still, where we'll be getting some more PvP changes and new PvP gear. Right here on this part of this boss fight here, you want to try and get control of these ads as much as possible while everybody's burning down the statues and then burning down the ads. Also, you want to watch out for, obviously his spinning move there. He's always going to do that twice. Once he does it on you, and he stops, tell everybody to block if you're tanking, and that way it gives everybody a chance to survive that attack of his. But that has been this video right here. I hope you guys liked it. Please follow me on Facebook and on Twitter. I can communicate with you guys a lot easier on Facebook and Twitter. And I'll see your comments and be able to reply to them quicker on those two options right there than I am on YouTube. So yeah, please follow me on Facebook. Like my page on Facebook. I just started up. Follow me on Twitter, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below this video. If you liked it, please do so by giving it a thumbs up. I try to respond to as many comments here as I can on YouTube as well, so don't think I'm going to be ignoring anybody on here. But yeah, if you guys liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching it. Until next time, you all take care. Bye.